Peace, y'all. Just got a real quick disclaimer to lay down before we get this started. Me and the inimitable Meechy Darko talked about the work of Neil Blomkamp for a little bit, particularly District 9. And I mentioned the short film that inspired the movie. I believe I called it Live from Joburg or something like that. It's called Alive in Joburg. I just messed the title up, just getting that out there before anybody hits me talking about, oh, it's not called, just had to make sure. But yeah, thank y'all for being here. This episode's gonna be fire. Like, just, just, just y'all wait, man. Like, let's go. What's good, y'all? My name is Dylan Green, and this is Real Notes, a space dedicated to blurring the cultural and artistic lines between rap and film. I'm here to chop it up with everyone from rappers and producers to journalists and video directors about their relationship to movies and how, if at all, film inspires their craft. My guest this week is Brooklyn-born rapper and one-third of the Flatbush Zombies Meechy Darko. We spoke about Idiocracy, Asian horror films, our favorite bad movies, District 9 and the movies of Neil Blomkamp, how Wu-Tang Clan's Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers changed his perspective on film and music, the origins and legacy of the Flatbush Zombies, finding new ways to show off his trademark raspy voice, and the creative process behind his solo debut, Gothic Luxury. Come fuck with us. Last person I had on here, they had their shit like, it had like a really loud, like, person was like, this meeting is being recorded, like on some jail shit. And I was like, whoa, like that shit kind of fucked me up. So I'm happy that didn't happen this time.
Let me make sure Skip Bayless don't leak into the fucking interview.
I couldn't hear anything if it makes you feel any better.
Skip and Shannon Sharp just screaming in the back the whole time. You know what's funny? When we started our conversation, I know this is about movies and all that, about everything, but we're gonna talk about movies too. I'm a cinephile. Yes, I love movies a lot, guys. So haven't been on my shit as of lately. I kind of fell off a little bit these last 2 years, but it reminded me of this movie, Idiocracy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever seen this movie.
Oh yeah, I've seen Idiocracy.
It's so funny. Yeah, like it's so funny how that movie is predicting the future. Like it's kind of like a Simpsons episode in one movie, if that makes sense. Like a lot of that shit, satirical as it is, it's really prevalent right now in today's day and age. And it makes you really wonder, like, how many, when I go back and watch old movies, how many of those older movies got it right about today? And it's rare. They usually don't ever get that shit right. Like they usually never get, I don't know. They usually either get technology wrong. They think we're gonna be flying cars before. Look at iRobot. iRobot take place like right now. I think them niggas had Audis flying and shit.
They had the.
So it's crazy when you see a movie with the super highway that they had and shit. That movie was it was like, it's crazy when I look at shit like that. And then you look at Idiocracy, which is a satirical comedy, a stupid movie, for lack of a better word, but it's more genius than some of the other shit.
Fucking Terry Crews's Comancho, and they're fucking the part that all because I mean, like, the Trump parallel is obvious, but the part that always gets me is that they fucking hydrate their fucking like crops with Gatorade, and like just like that's the one that fucked me up the most. Like really, like, I just can't even.
Who made that movie? Mike Judge? Who made
Mike
that
Judge,
movie?
Yeah, Mike Judge.
That makes sense. That is his humor.
Yeah, that's like, because like I feel like more and more people have been watching it lately, because I've been having a lot more conversations about it, and it's just like every year it just feels more just like, yeah, we already lived through Trump once again. That's like the real obvious one, but just like there's so many little details about that, just like the I'm blanking on everything right now that we're talking about it and we're on camera, but like that's always how it goes. But like, just,
what happens. It happens to me. It happens to me all the time. You about to ask me mad shit about movies, I'm gonna be like, fuck the scene with the fuck. And then when we get off, I'm gonna remember the whole fucking time.
Right. Now I'm gonna have to come find you. We're gonna have to re-record the shit. Nah, no, we're not doing that. But what's cracking, everybody? Welcome back. Real Notes. It's raining like a motherfucker outside. Fall is coming. It's not here yet, but it's coming. I'm in a hoodie for the first time in like 4 months. Feels pretty tight. It's cool. Dylan Green, CineMasai. I got a lot of names. This man is y'all can't see it, but my guest today just fucking folded his brim in on his hat. Just y'all can't see it, but that just made me laugh.
Your introduction is hitting right now. You got me feeling like, oh.
Shit. Well, you know, we're already here. So I'm with a man who does a lot of things and has held a lot of titles. And just I don't even know. Fucking 1/3 of the Flatbush Zombies co-founder, stay pressed in Brooklyn, Juice Spot on your lock shit. Fucking that's crazy still. I don't think we talked about that, but like,
Yeah.
you know, like obviously your solo debut, Gothic Luxury, is in stores now or in everywhere now, not even just nobody goes to record stores anymore. That makes me sad.
No
Meechy
more
Darko's
Sam
in the house,
Goodies,
bro.
man.
Man, damn it.
Yes, round of applause to me. Yes. Wait, clap, everybody. No, I'm joking.
Meech, brother, thank you so much for coming to talk to me about movies and bullshit. I appreciate you so much.
No problem, man. This is what I do. It's my pastime.
Yeah, everybody. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I said there's nothing better than bullshit conversations, back and forth. See where it takes us.
Yeah, man. Already. Yeah. Last time I spoke to you was 5 years ago when y'all put out Vacation in Hell. And I pulled up to the swap meet after that y'all did. And I got to just like see, like before we even start, I don't think I told you this, but like when I was at that swap meet, I was online with people who came from like South Jersey. Like I'm in like North Jersey, right outside the city. And I was having a whole conversation with people like, oh, like we came from like Trenton. And I was like, yo, like
Yeah.
what? Like y'all came from Trenton to Brooklyn to come see like it's just like that. We're gonna get to that later, but like the fact that like you were there before all of this, and it's just like it's been amazing to see the come up. That's all. I just had to say that. Just had to say that.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Time flies. I love moments like that too, because it'd be little events that you throw that you don't really think about. And a lot of people bring up that pop-up shop to me because it was like multiple days. There was so much people. It was a good energy. It was such a different time in the world and music, society. Everyone is so know-it-all now. So no one's like, we lost our innocence. That was like the fun time where it's like, oh, what? People don't even know what the fuck a pop-up shop is. All that shit is new to people. Like, you know, even merchandise and how you consume merchandise and how people sell merchandise. Everything is, the consumers are hip and the artists are hip and everyone's so analytical and hip now, you kind of lose those natural, let's just get people together in one spot and do something fun. Like we had people in the basement playing at that place, smoking and playing fucking arcade games and
I remember
GameCube and crazy shit like that in there.
I was down there for
just
that.
to make an environment. Printed press to print your own merchandise. Like I miss stuff like that. We don't really get a lot of shit like that.
Right, you know, and like you really got to like savor that when it comes around because like people really appreciate that, especially now, you know, like there's a lot going on in the city right now where like people still kind of trying to keep that spirit alive. And anytime I see it, it's just like, I don't know, it just makes me happy like that people still care about that, you know, like it hasn't gone away, but it's like it's harder to make it happen in a way that doesn't feel like soulless, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna figure it out though.
Yeah, no, you got it. I know you got it. So let me ask you the first question I ask everybody who comes on here. What was the last movie or TV show that you watched that you had a strong opinion about?
Oh shit, blood clot, boy. There's a movie called The Sadness. It's an I hate saying it's an Asian film because that can be so much parts of fucking Asia.
Right.
Is it Taiwanese? I feel like it's Taiwanese. I'm not exactly sure. Do not get mad at me if it's not. It is one of the most depraved movies I've seen in my life. I feel like it's loosely based off of this graphic novel called Crossed. I believe that's the name of it. I never read the graphic novel because it's fucking crazy. But pretty much people become like these zombies, like, but they're not actual zombies. They're like the most depraved, insane maniacs possible. Like they're not just trying to eat you. They're gonna fuck you. They're gonna do all that kind of stuff. Like, so that movie wasn't the best movie I've seen, but it was one that I'm like, am I crazy? Because I love shit like this. And I sent a few of my friends and shit to watch, and they're like, how do you watch this shit? They're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I don't want to ruin the movie for anybody. One scene in the movie, and someone see me watching it, and they just looking at me, shaking their head, like, you're disgusting. And those are kind of movies that if people see you watch it or they know you watch that, they kind of judge you a little bit. Like, they think you into some weird shit. So the sadness was one of them. Damn, I want to talk about it so bad. Can I spoil something? Are you allowed to spoil shit here?
Yeah, do it. It's okay. And anybody who wants to see
All
the
right.
sadness, skip ahead like a couple minutes. We'll be cool. Just go ahead.
Uh, I, uh, someone fucked someone's eye socket in the movie, and like,
Okay.
and and they made it make sense. Now, am I on his side? No, but they made it make sense, and I knew it was gonna happen. Like, if you really got your brain working and you put yourself into depraved, oh my god, the movie's great. Watch it. That's it. The eye socket fucking, yeah, that's a crazy movie. Watch the sadness, y'all.
I'm sold. All right. Yeah, nah, cause I was thinking about Ichi the Killer for the first time in a while recently. I'm assuming you seen Ichi the Killer, right?
Amazing. One of my favorite movies of all time. They need to remaster the graphics a little bit, but
Yeah.
love that movie. Like I love that movie so much, dude. I've Googled from the stylist of the movie. I love that movie. Like the styling in that movie is so fucking fire to me. That's what made me like it as a
Yeah.
kid. It was like, who are these fucking people with these fire suits on? And that movie is so fucking fire. I wonder
Yeah.
why no one's ever tried to like do that. I mean, probably can't. You know,
Cause cause like
one
why
with
would you? It's
like
perfect
timeless.
already. It's perfect already. I'm not
Yeah.
touching that. Like,
Well, that's what we do. We fuck things
mm-hmm.
up. That's what we do.
Yeah, man. You're
You
not
see a good
wrong.
movie from another whole fucking. You see a great storyline from other fucking a whole different place, a whole different culture. Look at the part. The Parted is literally a whole Asian movie.
Yeah.
It's like it's just not. Yeah, but it's like if you don't know that, you're just like this is one of the that's the most original movies ever. Meanwhile, it's like no,
Yeah.
this whole shit is stolen.
It's a whole ass remake. Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
we tried that with old boy too, right?
Yeah. Oh
They
yeah,
did the old boy Spike Lee one.
Spike Lee did it. It was terrible. Hated it. Trash. Uh, and like
Mm-mm.
and like that didn't work because like Spike just tried to like it was like almost a shot for shot remake. And like you can't get away with certain shit. Like well not even that you can't get away with certain shit, but it's like things in Korea are so different than they are in the States. Like you can't you can't track like takeout based on like taste and individual flavor in the United States. And like that's like a whole plot point in the original movie. And they were like, yeah, it's just dumplings again. Like no like nobody knows what the fuck a dumpling tastes like. Like nobody can tell the difference between dumplings in the United States. Like the fuck. And on top of that, like
Yeah.
and like on top of that, like Korea has like real strict gun laws too. So it's just like weird that it's just weird to see nobody in America have a like because you're like we all know the hammer fight scene from the first shit. And like and just
Yeah.
like it's just weird that no one has guns in that movie. Like why does nobody have a gun? Like you're in America. Like you're like trip over guns in America. Like the fuck are you talking about? Like
That's why we don't. That's why some movies we should just leave alone and not redo. Like just leave the fucking movie alone. Not as other movies I wish they would redo. Like
yeah.
I'm not a big gender swap fan and all that type of shit. I'm not against it either, but I watched Leon the Professional and I'm like, this is such a good story. They can redo this and just make it an older woman. Get Tilda Swinton or whatever her name is. Make her the assassin and go get some young boy and redo that. Like
Right.
I'm with that sometimes. But when we go all the way, like, I don't know. Sometimes we be trying in America. We be trying. Oh, remember the whole Ring and doing all the Grudge and shit. All
Yeah,
those
yeah,
movies
yeah.
when they try to redo
There
all them shits.
there was a
All
whole
of
J
those shit.
horror wave over here. That
All
was
of them
wild.
suck in comparison. All what was it? There's another one with the is it Black Water? Then there's one with the
Dark
camera where
Water.
people
It
get
was
stuck in
Dark
the
Water is the one you're talking
lens.
about.
Dark
Yeah.
Water. I seen like the original that is based off of, and that shit was scary as fuck.
It's
But for
crazy.
some
Yeah.
reason, we can't get it. We can't get it right in America. Like we don't know how to get scared unless it's like serial killers, incel guys, or some weird shit like that. That's what scares people in America. It's not like you're
Yeah.
not really afraid of ghosts.
Yeah, nah, motherfuckers would pull up to a haunted house for like no reason. Like, they also there was another one called The Eye. Then I saw the original, and the original's great, but like they remade it with Jessica Alba, and it's like, no,
Oh yes, I've seen that movie.
who needed
That movie
this?
stunk.
That
That
shit was
shit
crazy.
stinks.
It's bad.
That's a Tubi. That's a Tubi special right there. That's on Tubi for sure. I want to
Damn.
do some shit
Wow.
called Tubi Tuesdays where I link up with people and just watch bad movies on Tubi.
See, I don't have Tubi. Does like Tubi have like all the bad movies? Is like that the
You
place to
have
go?
Tubi. Everyone has it. Everyone has it. You just gotta download
Oh yeah,
it.
because it's free, right?
It's there
Okay.
for the taking. Yeah.
I for,
Yo, bro,
see.
it'll have like Bloodsport is a popular movie. It'll
Yeah,
have
yeah,
like Bloodsport maybe, but they don't have. You're like, wait, they got Bloodsport 7? Like it's like that.
yeah.
Or have like some movie called like Samurai Ninja Babes. And you're like, what the fuck is this? Like they
Yeah.
got this shit on there.
That's like how Crackle used to be. You ever fuck with Crackle before?
Yeah, listen, I'm a sucker for bad movies. You're talking to the guy
Hey,
here that like I literally I'll Google C movies like and just watch all the worst. I love me a bad movie. Like
come on, man.
it's magic behind that.
Honestly, there is like if a movie is bad enough, it'll make it incredible. Like, you can have fun watching a bad movie. I love watching bad movies. Like, so now I gotta
You
ask,
ever
what's the
seen
last? No, 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 no. You go first. You go first.
no go you gonna say last bad movie I watched?
Yeah, what's the last one you watched?
I tried to do something a screening to watch a movie called Samurai Cop. I don't know if you've ever seen this.
I haven't
Boy,
seen it, but I know exactly what it is.
boy, that shit is comedy. That is Monty Python. That is all of those motherfuckers. That shit is the most funniest. And that's what I mean of like, do these people know what they're doing? Are they intentionally? Because The Room, we know about Tommy Wiseau in The Room. He was just ignorant. That's like blissful, jovial, childlike ignorance. And
Yeah.
that's why this other movie is like, there's no way I did not know that this is funny. There's no way. The guys look the way it looks. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I love. There's another movie called Street Trash. Um, I believe that, and it takes place in Flatbush actually, which is strange.
Crazy.
It's a body horror type. Um, what do they call that genre? It's like a certain genre of horror that's like a lot of body horror and like goop and goo and shit. It's like one of those kind of what's
I think you could just call it body horror or like.
yeah, Cronenbergian. The Cronenberg is
There
the
you
word
go.
I'm using.
Yeah.
I'm
Shout out
trying
to
to be my
Cronenberg.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's your last bad movie?
What was the last bad movie I watched, or just like his last bad movie?
No, no. Here's a lot of those. What about your last?
Damn. Oh shit. I can't remember the last. Oh wait, nah. So it's not a bad movie in that sense. It's just a bad movie because it's like just terrible. I saw the last I saw that last Fantastic Beast movie. That shit was fucking ass, bro. Oh my god.
But how do they spend so much money on things and make bad movies? I
I
don't
don't
get it.
Me either, bro. It doesn't make any sense.
It's like budget 400 million and you couldn't make a good movie? That's insane
Like,
to me.
because like none of the money goes, or like not that none of the money goes to the writing, but it's just like they really put more of the emphasis on just like, oh look, like there's a thing you recognize, and like this is how we can make it a little different, and then like everything else could just fall to the way. It's like they just don't put the money where it needs to go, and
That's what
also
I
it's
think
just like,
Marvel, I think Marvel do the same thing. I think all the companies, you hit the nail on the head because while you're saying that, not to cut you off, you're saying that, and I'm thinking of all the big companies, they do that. It's like I look at Marvel shit sometimes and I literally say, yo, bro, this is enough money to change the world. And I don't, this movie is okay. Like most of the movies are okay. And I like
yeah,
that shit is cool, but it's not every movie's Endgame and fucking Thanos. So sometimes I watch that and I'm like, $300 million. Like I watched Spider-Man and I was like, they spent a lot of money and it still doesn't, I didn't get one chill in my body. I didn't get like it just busts my head a little bit. And then you watch some certain movies. You go watch an independent movie. You go watch 28 Days Later or fucking. You're like, damn, these niggas didn't have no money. They had nothing,
and they
and
made it
look what
work,
they got done.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like you
Sometimes
got
I
to be.
no
Sorry,
no
keep
do
going.
do
No,
your
no.
thing.
I was just gonna say like, cause like you really gotta work when you don't got no money. Like you really gotta like make it happen and like be creative and like that. Like like not to be like people need to suffer in order to be creative, but like that shit really brings out the best in you. Like when you don't have it and you gotta make it. Like,
Well, that's why I was saying maybe these studios need to start making a new little offshoot company where they give motherfuckers, yo, you're gonna take a Marvel character, you're gonna make a movie with $10 million. You're gonna figure this shit the fuck out. And it's possible they probably can make something grounded, but when you give someone, I feel like something happens when you say the check, but you could just when you give me a check and blank check, something bad happens. There's something happens when you can spend $50 million to redo a nigga's mustache for Superman. Like that
yeah,
means you have too much money. It's too much money.
right. And then you look at something like I bring this up all the time. You look at a movie like Everything Everywhere All at Once. Have you seen Everything Everywhere All at Once? Like you look at
Not yet, man. I fucked up.
go catch that shit, bro. Like that's like my move. That's right now my movie of the year. It's like that, like it's an A24 movie. Michelle Yeoh is in it. She was actually just in Shang-Chi, the Marvel movie. Funny enough, you mentioned that. It's incredible. I'm not gonna spoil it. I've talked about it too many times. Everybody knows what it is. Go watch that
Everyone
shit.
that told me about it said it's even my friends that aren't into movies like that kind of movie. They were like, "Yo, I've never seen anything like it's like a they've never seen anything like that in their life." Like some people told me, like Juice told me actually, he was like, "Yo, that's one of the craziest movies I've ever seen," and he doesn't really say that often. He's not really. He'll see some. It has to be really crazy for him to be like, "Yo, that was crazy." But I really wanted
Right.
to that and Nope. That Nope. There's a few movies this year I wanted to see that I fucked up on. Nope. That the Nicolas Cage playing himself movie.
That movie was fun. I like that. I fucked with that. It was good.
Man, I fucked up. Something about after I saw the trailers are too much nowadays, bro. They show you everything.
Yeah,
So I kind
man.
of see the trailer and was like, oh, I see the movie. I'll wait till it gets on streaming.
Right.
you know?
Right. Yeah, like that was like they did that with the second trailer for Nope, and I like avoided that shit as much as I could because like the first trailer was great, like it was like just enough to get me in the theater, and it was Jordan Peele. I'm gonna see it no matter what, but like I was just like I don't want to be spoiled. Like that's a movie like I want to see it all unfold, you know. And uh there's actually a way more to the Nicolas Cage movie too. So like go like you might think they put it all in the trailer. There's like a bit more to it than I was expecting. It's like he's like playing himself, but it's like not really himself. And there's like a whole just go see it. Just it like
That's
I'm interested to see what you think.
one of my strange, I wouldn't say idols. I hate this fucking my spirit animal shit that everybody says. But
Yeah,
I
me too.
always fucking fucked with Nicolas Cage since I was a kid. I don't know what it was. Since I seen this man, I don't remember what the first movie. I don't remember. I remember watching Con Air with my uncle all the time, bro. And I was just
Damn.
obsessed with that movie. Like I just remember being obsessed. Ensemble cast. That movie has. I watched it the other day. I was like, that movie got mad people. He had the terrible wig. I remember his hair blowing in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember like just fuck with him. Then I remember Face Off. After I seen Face Off, I love John Woo movies back in the day. It's like I grew up on more of like I literally grew up on horror and kung fu movies, to be honest.
Right.
Now that we're sitting here talking, I'm like, wow, think about it. My first experiences with movies aren't really like I remember having like a videotape that had Bugs Bunny and fucking Superman cartoons and shit. But other than that, I used to watch Five Deadly Venoms, all the Shaolin tapes. My uncle used to make me fix video VHS tapes when they get fucked up. You know, when the shit would unwind, he
Uh-huh.
would make me and then tape the shit. If it gets cut, he would literally show me, yo, if the tape gets messed up, you can snip the tape and put actual clear tape on it. So I remember watching all that shit growing up. Like that started my love for movies. Like the Wu-Tang movies, actually. Like I
That's
knew of the
hard.
music, I think around the same time. I knew about the music. It didn't like I didn't understand when I was a kid. I'm like, this Wu-Tang, these black dudes on stage that rap. And then I'm like, I watch these videos when I get home. Crazy.
That's hard. Wow. Yeah, I'm actually happy you went there because that's always the second question I ask is like where you started. And now that you mentioned it, because you asked me about the last bad movie I watched. This isn't it isn't the last one I watched, but it's the first one that popped into my head. There's this crazy movie called Future Cops. I think it's either a Hong Kong or Japanese movie. I can't remember which one. You seen Future Cops?
Yes.
Okay, you seen Future Cops.
Yes.
Wow. Damn. Sorry, that's
I'm
wild.
about to
Like
look
the
at the
fact that
artwork right now.
yo,
Yes, it's terrible. I know it's a terrible movie.
Yo, so okay, now I gotta explain what Future Cops is to anybody who doesn't know it. So Future Cops is a Street Fighter movie. They took all the Street Fighter characters and they're like police officers in the future, and they like fight each other, and like the heroes are villains and the villains are heroes, and like it's also kind of like Terminator, because like some judge who's about to put some of these dudes away is gonna do it, and they just decide like, oh, we're gonna go back in time and kill the judge when he's a kid in high school, and like they just send
Mhm.
they send Vega. I think they send Vega, Ken, Blanca, and like a bunch of the Street Fighter characters back in time to go like execute this little kid in high school, and then like two of the good dudes come in and like two of the good dudes come in and like try to save him, and like then like the judge's sister turns out to be Chun-Li or some shit. It's the most bizarre, like you
I
could
gotta
tell that.
watch that movie.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Now that you're saying this, you're describing this whole plot. This just sounds like a nigga, like a kid's, like a story a kid made up. Like a
Yeah.
kid, like an offshoot Street Fighter. Like they seen the game and was like, it would be cool if Ryu went to space. When it like literally sounds like a kid's story, bro. Like as you're explaining to me, I'm like, this sounds like my little brother explaining to me what he wished Street Fighter was. Like that's a shout out. I'm gonna actually buy that. I'm gonna buy that fucking DVD. Fuck all that.
I need that shit too. I'm gonna do that when we get off. Like, long story short, it's like it's just like it like it's because the company wanted to make a Street Fighter movie, but they couldn't buy the rights, so they just made the movie and just called it something else. Like that type of shit is always so fire to me. Like the only way I've seen it, I saw it on YouTube, because like you can only find it on YouTube unless you cop the DVD. So like I just watched it in college, and I was like, I've never seen nothing like that in my life. And just like the fact that somebody did it, and like it's the type of movie where like in like the final fight scene, I don't know if you remember, like somebody turns into Blanca, and to like and like you know how he like balls up in the game? Like
Yeah.
instead of having the nigga ball up, they literally just threw a beach ball in front of the
Oh
camera.
my fucking
Like
nah, I got
and like it's so obvious that it's a fucking beach ball. Like they don't even try to disguise it. It's that type of movie. Like that's the type of shit that I
definitely
love.
add it. I'm not gonna even buy the DVD. Fuck all that. I'm gonna add it to my YouTube playlist right now. You got me right. You got me right now. I can't front. I love bad. That kind of bad is the bad I'm talking about. Whereas like
Right.
when you threw the goose ball, did you think you're gonna get this past us? Like also this brought up the other that made me think of this other movie, which is very popular, District 9, right?
Oh
You know
yeah.
that was a Halo movie first. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is also funny to me. Like I love those kind of stories of like this, well, not like this terrible movie we were just talking about, but more of like the assets from this film ended up somewhere else. There's like a documentary on Dune, like one of the best documentaries I've ever seen, and they
Yeah,
show you like
Jodorowsky's Dune. Yeah, great movie. So
bro,
good.
and like the idea of all of that stuff being reused or going somewhere else, it just really shows you like, yeah, sometimes you're mad ahead of your time, or like, or just your ideas are so good that they could just start. Them shits are responsible for like 7 different universes. Like, isn't that
Yeah.
fucking insane? That's insane. That shit is insane to me.
And you know what else is wild? Like I know there were parts of that Halo movie that made it into District 9, but that was like a whole short film before District 9 came out called Welcome to Joburg. So like the whole concept started there, and then I think like assets from the Halo movie made it in there. But like
Oh,
that whole thing was like already like an established universe.
okay.
The shorts, I don't think I've seen Welcome to Joburg, but like it's definitely a because like I've been meaning to rewatch District 9 because I seen it twice. I seen it once when it came out, and
Years
then
ago, I
once like 3 years
remember.
later. Yeah, like
Can't remember much. I remember liking it, and I remember everybody being like, "Yo, this shit was strangely good." Like I remember people being
yeah,
surprised they liked it.
that shit got nominated for Best Picture. Like it almost, I think it won. Didn't it win? I don't
It
remember.
was a big deal. Did it have good graphics back then, or was it just like what was it?
It was gorgeous. Like all the aliens looked great. The UFOs on the spaceships, and like the special effects were cool. It was his first movie. The guy's name is Neil Blomkamp. That was his first big movie
Holy
ever.
shit,
It was
that
like a
is.
huge deal that he got nominated because he was
Holy,
supposed to make the Halo movie, like you said. So
that's the first. That's a hell of a first movie. That motherfucker right there.
yeah. And it's crazy because the other two, he put out two others, no, three others. It was Elysium with Matt Damon.
I still
Um
never watched that one.
It was all right. It wasn't as good as District
They
9,
said
but it was still
Eminem was
cool.
supposed to be in that movie allegedly.
Of course he was.
Nah, for real. They said Eminem was supposed to be Matt Damon's character. It's Matt
Yeah,
Damon, right?
that's yeah. That's not surprising at all. Like like he fits the type. And then what was it? Because it went Elysium, and then there was Chappie. You ever see Chappie?
Okay, so here's the thing with Chappie. I don't believe people when they tell me this is okay movie. I just don't believe it. I don't know why. It's like I think of like Short Circuit, fucking Johnny Five and shit when I see that movie. Like
Yeah,
I can't. And then when I see the fucking Die Antwoord, I can't not see Die Antwoord. I'm sorry, they just look
yeah.
like Die Antwoord. But I heard the movie's fun. Like people
They,
tell me,
they are Diane Ward. That's them.
oh, okay, so they're playing themselves.
Yeah. Basically,
Oh.
they're basically playing themselves. And I mean, like they suck, so I get it. But like,
Now I
yeah.
got nothing against them. It's just sometimes when I don't know. It was just like I'll watch this later. I think that was an airplane movie that's gonna end up. You know when you watch a
Oh,
weird movie on the airplane and you're like, this shit is good. I don't know if it's the altitude, but this shit is hitting.
yo, that happened to me. That happened to me twice. So the first time I saw you ever see Phantom Thread? It's a Paul Thomas Anderson movie with Daniel Day-Lewis in it.
That's the last one he did, right?
That's the last one he did. So like I watched Phantom Thread on a plane, and like I don't want to spoil the ending, but like I'm watching, like I'm like jet lagged, like going home from somewhere, and I'm just watching this. Like the movie ends with like it turns out that he's got like what's the Stockholm syndrome, more or less, and like he's like being poisoned by the woman he loves. I'm spoiling the movie, fuck it. And
Okay.
like I'm just like just watching it get to that point. I'm just like, this movie is fucking crazy. Like I'm a big fan of Daniel Day Lewis's and like and Paul. What was it? Paul Thomas Anderson? I can't remember, but whoever made it, movie was fire. But like that, like watching that on a plane fucked me up. And then the second time, I was coming home from, I think was it Tulsa? I was coming home from Tulsa, and Toy Story 4 had just come out. And but here's the thing, I watched it 3 times with no sound. I didn't have headphones, so like I'm just
Yeah,
like
I've done
watching.
that. I've done that on the plane too with certain movies. It's very interesting.
It's weird because like I still haven't seen it with sound. Like I've so it's like I've seen the whole thing 3 times. I could tell you every scene that happens, but I've never heard anything in the movie. Like I just never fixed it, you know.
You know what? I can't. I'm gonna tell you a funny thing about me. And I talk to my mother about this all the time. I was a weird kid with movies. I don't remember like every time I could probably name 3 characters in Toy Story. I know what they look like, but
Yeah,
Mad Kid movies, I missed kid stuff. It's so strange. It's like I don't have a connection to Woody and Buzz. Like I have no connection to none of those. I'm trying to think of those other movies that came out. Like I think I got a little Lion King in me, but other than that, it was weird. I was so into All Dogs Go to Heaven and like these other weird, the Brave Little Toaster and fucking.
yeah. Come on.
I was into all these other weird cartoon movies. I wasn't against those, but my mother even said sometimes she was like, "You were a funny kid. Like when we go to the movies, you always wanted to see shit with real people. Like I never wanted to see. Like I was a nigga like Terminator 2. We have to go see Terminator 2. And they're
Right.
like, calm down, relax. Like, you know, so
Yeah,
just
that's
very whenever I think of like Toy Stories and a new one comes out and people are crying and shit, and I'm
yeah.
just like, it don't hit me like that.
Man, that was me. That was me when I saw the third one because like I was like the whole thing is like Andy's going to college and like I saw that movie like 2 weeks before I went to my freshman year in college. So like it was like
Got you.
perfect timing. Perfect
It
timing.
got
But
you.
but you see, like now I'm just thinking about you trying to go see like somebody's like, oh, let's go see like you ever see Cats Don't Dance? It's a real deep cut. But like so long story short, Cats Don't Dance is this like it's an animated movie that took place in the 30s, and it's about a whole bunch of like animals who are like this. It's like yo, that was my
You unlocked a fucking memory, nigga. This is what I'm talking about. These are the shits I fuck with, bro. These be the
right.
shit.
That was my whole
Yo,
shit, bro. That was
you
my favorite
unlocked.
movie for like 5 years.
Yo, you just unlocked a memory. That's fucking insane. I'll be looking for all these old cartoons that are like, I don't know who made these. What company was making these fucking
That was
movies?
Warner Brothers who made that one.
Okay.
Yeah, because like the little girl who was like Annie, and like she's like evil, and she had the butler who was
Mm.
like built, and shit, and like they just like sing songs, and she's a piece of yeah, just that was my favorite. But like, you know, you just like, I'm imagining you trying to go see Terminator 2 over Cast Don't Dance as a kid, and that's just kind of killing me.
Yeah, I was a sick. I mean, my family were, they put me on to so much stuff they didn't realize. Like when you're a kid, people just don't realize. So my uncle used to bring me into his room, and I was a little scaredy kid. He used to have posters. I still don't know how he had all these movie posters. I think you just steal them from the movie theaters, but it would be like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street here, and then some other random movie that I can't remember over here. And he had all these posters, and he would bring me into the room and then force me to watch horror movies. Like he kind of broke me in, and it's kind of funny. I'd be so afraid that he'll force me. And I remember watching the first Friday the 13th and just paying attention. Like I remember, stop being scared. Like he just broke me. Like, just look, pay attention. It's not scary. Just watch it. And then I watch, and I remember the twist at the end with his mother and everything. And then I was like, yo, this shit wasn't that bad. Then I did rationality as a kid. I was like, oh, it's Camp Crystal Lake. I'm in Brooklyn. He's not coming for me. Boom. And then once I got that in my head, it was like, all right, I'm good. And I thought the slate was clean. I thought I was good. My mother watches Hellraiser. That's one of her favorite movies ever. So she's fucking put me on the Hellraiser, which is a crazy movie to watch as a kid, by the way.
Yeah,
like,
for real. Wow.
You're not supposed to be watching this, but all right, we watching this tonight. So that movie puts me on to like gore and not being afraid of like gore. So that's why I think I'm for lack of a better word, what they would say, a gore horror is what they would say. Gore doesn't bother me in movies. Like the more, the better if it's done tastefully. But it really doesn't bother me. I don't get queasy. I don't do any of that shit. I remember I seen The Descent in the movie theater, the movie where the woman go in the cave.
That movie's so fire, bro. Oh my god, that movie's so crazy. The girl
throw up in the movie theater with one. when Shorty hits her friend in the face with the in her eye.
The axe, yeah.
The girl next to me just vomited. I'll never forget that. And I'm like, damn, this shit really affects people. Like this shit really affects people. So I forgot why I got on this topic of me watching all the movies as a kid.
It was because 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 I was talking about Toy Story and how you didn't have like that connection with it because you just like
I think it's because my family they weren't into those movies. They didn't usher. I didn't see them watching that. You feel me? So it's like I didn't see them watching that, therefore I didn't have interest. I seen my uncle watch wrestling, so I'm like, what is this wrestling thing? And I kind of gravitated. So like, that's why I got into some of these things. Whereas they weren't really, and then my mother would give me a few tapes. Woody Woodpecker, watch this on video over and over again. Yeah. But like I said, after a while, I'm like, I want to watch what y'all watching. What is this shit? Like Scarface, who's this guy? What's going on here?
Right. So like as you get older, and you kind of start to lean more into that shit. Like, do you remember like the first time? You remember the first time you watched a movie and it it really did like connect and hit with you? Like not even like it could be in like an artistic sense. It could just be in like this is what movies are type of sense. Like it doesn't have to be anything too crazy, but like the first movie that like really touched your heart type shit.
Oh, I remember. I want to say touch my heart, but because I was still kind of really young. My grandma, my grandfather went to go see Dead Presidents in the Bronx, like when I was a kid, when it came out. I think I was like 95, 94. I was really young. I remember.
How old are you, bro?
I'm 30.
31. Oh, you're my age. All right, yeah. So you were like 3. You saw Dead Presidents in the theater at 3 years old.
But let me explain this to you. So what I remember from seeing that movie was the reaction of everyone in the movie theater. That was the first time I seen a movie, I think, that I could remember from, because I remember seeing movies back then when I was a kid. I'm sure I've seen a Batman movie. I've seen a few movies, but people were like reacting, and it wasn't like excitement and clapping. It was like people crying, people pointing to the screen, and it was like, these are the old days. So it was way different. Like movie, bro. I remember how that movie moved the crowd. I don't know if you remember in Paid in Full, where homie's sitting down and he's talking about when they seen Scarface for the first time, how it hit the hood and everybody. That's how that movie felt when I was a kid. And I was kind of like, oh, like this thing moves people. It's not just it's not happy, happy, joy, joy, clap hands, fun thing. That's like this. Right. All the other things I've seen were horror and kids movies, but that's not horror. That's like a drama. I didn't really see drama. So that was like the first drama where my brain kind of was like, I know I didn't wrap the story around. I still remember the lady hopping out of the dumpster dying. I couldn't put together the courtroom scene and all that kind of stuff and all the homie coming back from a war and PTSD. I didn't get all of those things as a kid.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. I remember this, the way the room reacted and everything. And then I have another story of like, I wanted to see Belly when I was a kid because I love DMX so much.
Naturally, yeah.
My mother took me to go see that. She's like, yo, I should not be taking you to go see this fucking movie. But you're lucky because I want to see it. And I'd rather you see it with me than you're gonna end up seeing anyway.
That's always the reason from parents. I'd rather you see it with me. Yeah.
And I went to go see that. And that also was, it's funny because what year was that? 98?
98, somewhere between 98 and 2000, I think.
So like, did Sixth Sense in those movies come out already?
Nah, because The Sixth Sense was 99, I think, right?
Yeah, because I want to say, I'm
Yeah.
trying to go in chronological order of like the movies that I've seen that had different effects on me. Belly was different. Belly was like, oh my God, these guys are not actors. So my brain was kind of like, you can do anything. Like literally, my brain was like, yo, you can do anything. That movie literally showed me like, and then I had the Jamaican shit in it. I've never seen my people represented in no movie theater. So that shit bust my head like as a kid. Like I was not expecting him to go to Jamaica. Like, and I still remember when he went to Jamaica looking at my mother and she was like, oh shit. Like I still remember. Then I also remember getting bored of the movie when I was a kid. Like, what's going on here? And to this day, when I watch that movie, I get bored at the same part as I did when I was a kid. So that says a lot about my attention span or something. But
that also
then X-Men is Sixth Sense, not to keep rambling. Then it's Sixth Sense.
No, it's cool.
Seeing a plot twist with a bunch of people, because I'm a little bit older now and I get movies more, and I've never seen a plot twist like that. So that was kind of like oh my God, like what the fuck? And I remember everyone leaving the theater and talking about a movie after you see it like that. And then trying not to tell people what you saw, but then tell them to go see it. So yeah, those were the ones that like, it's a strange set of 3 movies, but those are like my earliest movie theater experiences because that's very important. Home is different from theater.
Oh yeah, definitely. Damn, man, those are 3 crazy experiences. I want to say something about all 3 of them before we move on. So I don't think I definitely didn't see no Dead Presidents in no fucking movie theater. I wish I did. I wish I did. But like I rewatched it again recently and just like there's just like you were saying, like there's like certain things about that you just like don't like even something as like that might seem silly as a kid as like Keith David having a fake leg and somebody ripping his fake leg off, like you like laugh at that when you're a kid, but then you like look at it and like look at the fact that he's like running the numbers, whatever the fuck that means, like it's and just like and the relationship him and Lorenz Tate had, and then just like and then like the whole war shit, and then like the part that always gets me is like that was the first time I'd ever seen Chris Tucker do drama like that, because we all know Chris Tucker from we all know Chris Tucker from Friday. So like you see him kind of come in and you come in, he's like a heroin addict, and then the movie ends and he's strung out dead on the couch, and the fucking the fucking feds bust in. Like that shit hit me hard. That shit hit me hard this time. I was like, what the fuck? Like what?
I'm telling you, as I got older, when I seen that again, because I was like, let me watch this shit, because there was an era when me and Juice would watch Juice and Menace to Society. I used to watch Menace and Paid in Full. There was eras where I'd watch certain movies every night and every day after school. There was a time when I watched Paid in Full every day for like 2 years straight. There was a time when I watched Menace to Society every day for like 2 years straight. Don't know why I was obsessed. I mean, you know why I was obsessed with movies. How the hell we got to these movies? Sorry, I went through my how do we get there? How do we get to
we were talking about Dead Presidents.
Oh yeah. So as I got older, those movies I don't notice that much shit because those are pretty straightforward. Like I got those, but something about Dead Presidents, it's like a black Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, that really is
2 movies, bro. It's so strange because they're in war. Like I didn't remember that they actually were in war, and they showed that until I watched the movie again when I was older, and I was like, wait a minute, these motherfuckers, they showed them fight the war.
Yeah. Like, Bokeem Woodbine was carrying the head in his backpack and shit. Yeah.
All those kind of things, those things really made me have way more respect for the movie. And then just like the subtle shit when Clifton Powell was just Cuddy, where he's like taunting him, and it's like, then this nigga's question is his baby his, and he felt so powerless. And it just shows you like bad niggas came back from war and had nothing. Like, nigga bringing home actual meat. The ends of fucking, what I mean? Like this shit is so different. It's a reality check. It really shows you like I said earlier before we even started this, perspective. You think your day is hard? There's a nigga like that motherfucker right there that's bringing home the ends of some fucking pork that his God gave him, not even paying him in money. You feel me? So
right,
all of that shit, Motherfucker made him suck the barrel of his gun.
He said, "I got a present for you. Suck it." That shit was crazy, bro.
Yeah, that movie different. That movie different. And
In
then
the stairwell, son.
and you got
The movie's wild.
That's the
Sorry.
beginning of Maine. Terrence Howard, Maine. That's the birth of Maine.
Yeah. Wow, it is, isn't it?
That's the birth of Maine. That's the Maine.
Wow. Shit. That really was the first one. He beat his ass at the end too. Like Loren, he was ready to go. He was like, he came back from the war like, yeah, nah, yeah, movie's crazy. And yeah, like Dead Presidents is classic. Like
I don't want to say it's underrated, but I feel like people know of it. I don't think people indulge. You know, they know the artwork, they know the movie, but I don't think people really sat down and really watched that movie.
Right, yeah, like everybody knows like the face paint because like people used to like be out in like the face paint for Halloween and just like out whenever with it. So like people know that, and then to like get to Belly, like I feel you on getting bored at that specific part of the movie because like that movie is like it's a Hype Williams movie, so like the whole thing looks great, and like obviously like the intro and like the first act is like I watch it just for that, but then you just like it's not.
Let's see where you think the movie dies. I wonder where you think it starts to go downhill.
Damn. So I'm gonna say this up front. Belly's not like a good movie. It looks it's fantastic. Like I love the movie. It's one of my favorites. It's not a good movie in like the strictest sense.
Style over substance for sure.
Exactly, and that's fine. Like it you know, like I wasn't going into it looking for something like Dead Presidents. You know, like oh man, I want to say it dies down. Oh man, I'm trying to. It's been a while since I've seen Belly, so I'm trying to remember the exact scene. No, you start. You tell me first. You tell me.
It's not a scene to me. It's a pacing thing. When it gets to, and I think I figured it out. I think they ran out of money because that's usually what happens. So the movie gets strange when DMX gets locked up. Then he goes into that program.
Yeah.
And once they show the ball drop in New Year's, and they show people outside like this, and Nas is doing this long soliloquy, and then they show DMX with the glasses, and he's about to go kill that guy. The movie it's over. Like they don't need that. I think the movie should have stopped with Tommy Buns going to prison and leave on a cliffhanger, because that's how you have niggas like we need to see what happened to Tommy. Having Tommy go kill try to kill the fake Farrakhan. The fake Farrakhan guy gives his long speech. I knew you were coming. Then he gives him this long fucking speech. And it's like, bro, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is this? And I think they just ran out of money or steam. Like, these are not real. Most of these people in this movie aren't real actors, too. So at some point, it's like, it's not like having Daniel Day-Lewis on set where he kind of knows the filmmaking. You know, Nas got to go on the road. DMX just got 2 double platinum not 2 double platinum. The nigga sold like 18 million copies.
Yeah.
So at some point, the nigga like, I kind of got to go. Yeah. So every time I watch that movie, I'll be like, I want to make a Meech cut where I just cut that part out. And I do my narration in Nas' voice. Yo, I had to go to Africa. Tommy's, and then it's an ending cliffhanger. And then delete Belly 2. I don't know if you know about Belly 2 with the game.
Of course I know about Belly 2. This shit is garbage.
Sorry, gang. We got to get that out of here, bro.
Yeah, no. Buns or Tommy for short, like type shit. God damn. Okay, so now we gotta hop over to the other side of the tracks. This has already been so great, bro. Like, thank you. Like, when did you first fall in love with music? Like, this is all happening. So when did music come into the fold for you?
Since birth, around the same shit with the movie thing.
Right.
And where I gravitated towards the VHS tapes, I gravitated towards the cassette tapes. Yeah, so I would say since birth, I grew up in a household. I was always playing reggae music all day long on the radio. My father was into music. My father worked at Kiss FM and worked in the radio and shit back in the day. Shit. So it was like a musical household. So it's hard to pinpoint it because I didn't have like one of those moments a lot of kids have. It was like when I went to school and they taught me this song, it was like since birth, I kind of was always dancing into music. They would make me dance and shit and like play songs and make me do the vocal and do all that, So it's always been like since I've been like a little child. I can tell you my earliest like hip hop memory of like, oh, I like this guy and this song and this is fire was like LL Cool J. When I was a kid, he was like larger than life to me. So like I remember when Mama Says Knock You Out came out, I used to like that's like the first rap song I think I learned all the words to, and like used to do everything he did in the video, put the towel over my head and do all that shit. Like I used to love that. I used to literally say my mother said I used to go around just saying Mama said knock you out to people and shit like that. Like that was my shit.
That's incredible. Yeah, no, LL like had it. Like it's just like it's just so crazy that like as people get older and generations move on, like people just like his stuff is really just timeless in that way, you know? Like it's like just like great like first like you never heard rap before, listen to LL Cool J. You know, like he
Right.
just kind of like embodies, especially like the early shit. You know, like you could even cause like I even remember when like Headsprung came out and like that album was like everything to me because my mom loved it, you know, and like but like even before that, like we all knew Mama Said Knock You Out. Like that was just like the song, like everyone knew. But then as I got older, I go through and like listen to the what's the name of the album? I'm mad, I'm blanking on the name, but it's the one that's like black and it's like him kind of looking down.
Mr.
Um
Smith? Is it
I think
Mr.
it's
Smith?
I think
Yeah.
it's Mr.
That
Smith.
album,
Yeah.
that has phenomenon on it and some other shit. I think I forgot what's on.
The
I think
J
that
Lo
might be that.
song too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just like he's
Ella got hits. And that's a early. It's so funny because I'm thinking about that song. That's like I think I was that might be 93. That's like 93. That's like early. That's a long time ago. And then after
yeah, bro.
it was like Wu-Tang. It went straight. It was over for me after that. It was like straight Wu-Tang and just then before I knew it, Biggie Smalls was out. So I was just listening and hearing that shit all day long.
Hmm.
And yeah, I became a fiend. It was over after that.
Right. And then yeah, and then you know, like you obviously like went on and expanded. You literally have a DJ Screw vinyl behind you.
Oh
Like
yeah.
or yeah, like you know, like it's just like but I wanna cause like usually this is the part where I ask people if they ever had a moment where like music and film they kind of connected them together in their mind. But you already mentioned it with the Wu-Tang shit. I'm so interested in you kind of like discovering those movies and discovering Wu-Tang around the same time. So like talk to me more about that because that's crazy.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't. That's why I say I grew up at like the best time I think ever. I'm glad I was born when I was born because I think if I was born any little bit later, I would have not grasped things properly. Well, not properly, but how I needed to. And if it was any earlier, I'd have been a little arrogant. I feel like so. I got right there. Like technology wasn't super bussing. You know, some niggas didn't even have a computer when I had a computer. They didn't even know what a fucking computer was. Like they don't know any of it. So I think I grew up at like a perfect time. So with shit like the Wu-Tang thing, it it's like it's so hard to pinpoint it because it's almost like all I know is those movies and that music. And it's like this, it's just the soundtrack, part of the soundtrack of my childhood. It's kind of like even when we were making music with the RZA, when I met him, I was like, yo, it's not to, I ain't gonna fan out. I never like I'm be, you know, I never say not to fan out or apologize. I never apologize for being a fan of somebody. But I had to explain to him, I'm like, it doesn't, you still don't understand, it doesn't really make sense to me because your music and the movies that I grew up watching are the same thing. You sampled sounds from things I watched. Like I said, Five Deadly Venoms is one of my favorite movies of all time. I still watch that movie all the fucking time. So it just doesn't, yeah, it's so hard to describe. It doesn't really make sense. Like when you tell me to think about it, how it coincide, I don't know what came first. I just know that I was obsessed with like both of them. And then as a kid, I figured out, oh, this is like 8 of these guys in the group. Then I found ODB, and then I just got obsessed with Old Dirty Bastard at some point. It became
Right.
like ODB obsession, and then yeah, it just sprinkles off to so much different things in life. Fucking figuring out about samples. I think they're like the first people that like learned what samples and shit was. So it's really hard to pinpoint because it opens up a branch to other so much shit from the God body talk, from what they're talking about, to like gold teeth, bro, from crazy hairstyles, from yeah, and then it also shows me it's okay to borrow from other cultures. Like that's a big thing to me because a lot of what I like influenced by, and all of us nowadays, everybody's how much niggas I know now love Japanese everything and anime and shit. You go to nigga crib, you think he's a Japanese kid, and it's like
Right. Yeah.
that wasn't always a thing.
Oh no,
Like
it
I think
wasn't.
it was a thing and amongst black culture of us liking kung fu movies also, but in our art form, no one's ever really did that. And then to see it work, they went around the world and the other sides of the world loves it, if not more than we love it over here. Yeah, kind of
Right.
like, yeah, it was crazy. And those are also artists that I seen like they don't compromise their style or anything for anyone, and they're still like the most legendary people ever. And they're bigger than the movies, so it's fucking insane. So people still don't know it's fucking kung fu movies that they're named after and shit like that. So.
Right. Yeah, bro. That's so wild to me because yeah, and just like and like that's like a whole other conversation, like especially like cultural exchange between like black and Asian people. And just like that's like a like like I'm not really in a position to say whether or not it's like respectfully done, because I'm not Asian or
Yeah.
Japanese or China, like we could go down the list. But
Mhm.
it's just that like Wu-Tang in particular really like I'm with you, like that really cracked that open for me when I realized what it was and I put it all together, like especially with like the character names, because the surface level is like they were like naming themselves after superheroes, but then you go further down and you really dig into, like you look at how much RZA really like respects that stuff and like really like lives it, and it's just like, like there's a way to do that and not have it feel like wrong, you know?
Yeah, like tacky. It's not tacky, yo. It's not tacky at all. That's
Yeah,
you know why? Because the intent is the intention, and
right.
those are men of knowledge and wisdom. So I think they would never come from that kind of angle. But yeah, I hate, like, I know that my answer was a strange ass answer, but
No, it
like
wasn't.
Wu-Tang is very complicated with their influence in my life because they influence so much things in my life without like me even really thinking about it until sometimes when I'm like listening to a song or I talk to Riz and I'm like, damn, these niggas gave me a lot of my childhood, you know?
Right. And yeah, like y'all really did the song with RZA. Like I almost forgot about that until I listened to it yesterday. I was like, damn, like they really did that. Like that was a moment too. Like I remember when it came out and I was like, y'all made it to RZA. Like I was
It's
proud.
funny.
Like
I was spoiled. I was spoiled in the beginning. I told niggas I went from rapping on Eric's beat straight to a RZA beat. Like when I first rapped, I didn't really. That was the only other producer I met and like
right.
rapped on. So it's funny. It was like first beats was all from my friend. Second was from RZA. So it's always interesting. Like the beats, the people I fucking came across, and why I respect him so much. I never forget the first time I met him. Comes into the room, instantly starts rapping. So now look at Eric and Juice. I'm like, after he's done rapping, we got to rap, right? Because once he's rapping, he starts commanding the room, and the niggas got cameras out. So then Juice starts rapping, I start rapping, Eric start rapping, and then even later that night, I was like, that's funny. We just psyched with the RZA. Like I would have never thought in a million years when I'm a kid listening to this shit,
Yeah.
that I was gonna ever be siphoning with the nigga, let alone the nigga know my name and know shit about me, got my number, all that type of shit. So it makes it real funny, real interesting.
That's so wild. Before we move on, I just noticed that you have a Gimme Some More skate deck in the back, and that's beautiful. The fucking middle shit, like I was looking at the lady, and I'm like, that's from the Gimme Some More video, isn't it? Like, yeah, I
I
couldn't
forgot
not.
where I got this from, but I seen that and I was like, it was in the store, and I don't think anybody knew what the fuck it was in the store. Went
That shit
over
is
there.
so hard. Wow.
Thank you. Hello collection.
That's tight. So you already mentioned it, but yeah, like when did you start rapping? A and B, when did you realize it would be something that was more than just a hobby? You said that you didn't so like you didn't start rapping until you met with Eric and started rapping over his beats, or had it happened before?
Nah, I didn't. I would freestyle and play games, and like I was one of them niggas that I could freestyle for hours about bullshit and troll people before trolling was a thing. That's what I would do. Like
Right.
I might just freestyle and rap about Eric and just bother him all day, and he'd be like, "Yo, this nigga's annoying." But it's funny shit. So I always had that talent. Um, I never really had like and Eric would always tell me this. He was like, "I can't front you the only like." He was like, "You and Juice would have only in the first two people I've ever seen that just picked up music, like not music but rapping so easily." And I think because I'm literally a student of like movies and music. Like I listened to a lot of music my whole life. I'm an only child, so that was my best friend was movies and music.
Right.
So it like rapping was easy as fuck to me. It was like nothing. But Eric was solo first. He always made music since he was probably 14 years old. He's been making music. So I always been in the background listening. So it's not like one day someone threw on a beat and then I figured out I've been around. I've been around it. So whether Eric knew it or not, I'm watching him do stuff, and I'm learning, I'm being his support system. That's my friend, but I'm still learning and taking
Yeah.
down notes. So while other people might have been around back then not taking down notes, I was, figuring the shit out. And then at some point, me and Juice just got to a point where we were like, yo, bro, I don't really like anything that's out right now. Like, no one really represents our kind of lifestyle of what we're trying to do or talk about the shit we talk about. So we decided to make music, and that was really it. And then at that time, that was like, I want to say I started writing and maybe when I was like 19, maybe like 19, maybe 20, maybe like 20 years old, 19, 20. I want to say 20. Because even in high school, there was people who rapped in high school, and I knew, it's funny, I always knew I could rap. Not to sound arrogant enough. I always knew that like I could do this if I wanted to, or like we'd have like little talent shows and like little school fucking freestyle things and shit, and I would just never compete because it's in my head. I was just like, I want to figure out what I want to. I want to really figure out who I am before I come out and rap for niggas. Because
Right. Oh,
yeah,
I feel that.
like, I never want to be a kid rapper too. Like even when I was young, I was like, I don't be no kid rapper. When you start rapping too young, Joey's lucky. Joey Badass is fucking lucky. But usually, like when niggas really young, it's like, nah, it don't really work. So my brain was always like, I'm good. I ain't got a story right now to even tell. I'm just writing bars about stupid shit.
You could get
And then,
crisscrossed real quick. Yeah.
yeah, I don't want to do that. Like, and I didn't, and yeah, so life happened. I got a little bit older. I fucking dropped out of school. I'm working a fucking job. I stopped working a job now on the side. I want to make music. Like me and Juice used to just get together in the staircase, blow mad blunts, draw shit on the wall, write rhymes, and just spit shit back and forth and practice our pen. And it was just verses and verses and verses with like no structure. My first verses, sometimes I listen, I'd be like, that nigga that nigga was a bat out of hell. I was just spitting, just so anxious to get these shits off. So started to talk to Eric, and I was like, yo, I think we want to start recording. And he was like, all right. He had a project coming out, and he had this one beat that was mad fire. And me and Juice just decided to rap on it. And once he released it, everybody was like, yo, this shit's fucking amazing. You guys have great chemistry together. And yeah, I think since then, it was up since then, posting music on Tumblr and all that type of shit.
Yeah.
And then, it just went up since then. I can't pinpoint my exact age. I want to say like 20. I don't think I was a teenager. I think I was like 20.
Got it. And like, I mean, like, I feel like people talk about it more and more now, but just like your voice, man, like, just like I think I tweeted this yesterday. Like, if I met somebody with your voice and they didn't rap, I would literally drag them to a booth and be like, you're rapping. I don't care what you do, you're rapping. Like you just like got the voice for it. Like you just like going through the Beast Coast album again. Like your verses are the ones that I come away with the most. Like those are the ones that always leave an impression on me because you just like your delivery is just like you just have a voice, like you hear it, it's like that's Meech. It just works. So like when you started kind of like developing with Eric and Juice, like was there a point when you kind of like heard yourself back and you were like, not only is this something that I know I can do, like we're gone, like it's over. Like when did that happen for you?
Probably it's funny because I have more dimensions in my voice than I really use. I don't really get to use a lot. I use a lot of the rasp because that's like my comfort, to be honest, which is crazy
Right.
because for other people it's not. So my comfort is what people try to really do. They'll lose their voice doing. I I don't know. It's probably Thug Waffle. Maybe that when people just heard my voice on that. Because also the thing about that song is so weird. We was doing so much experimental shit that like we slowed the song down a little bit and did something. So like my voice sounds scarier than it normally sounds. So if you listen to Thug Waffle now, you could hear that I have like there's some distortion or something on my vocals, but it makes me sound big, even bigger and scarier. So I think when people first heard that, they were like, it's kind of like what Tyler the Creator was doing sometimes. He would use the crazy shit on his voice back in the days. So who knows? Niggas probably thought Tyler was a 6'8", big, fucking strong superhero, crazy looking nigga or a demon or some shit. And then they see him as like, all right, because his voice sounded so when you don't see a person yet, and you just hear this voice, you're like, what the fuck is this? Biggie sounds like he's an 8 foot tall nigga. He's huge, but he sounds bigger than that.
Yeah.
So I think Thug Waffle probably. And then I don't really know. I don't feel like I still don't. The voice thing is so strange because I think my voice is very powerful. I think I have a very unique voice, and I will say, I think in hip hop history, from a guy who listened to a lot of hip hop, I think I have one of the best voices ever. For that, but I do think at the same time, I'm still learning how to tap into other parts of it
Mm-hmm.
because you don't ever want to be not even say one trick pony because I can't help that I'm missing my voice, but I also want to find other parts of my voice so that when I do get into that bag, you really, if you feel it now, when I get more control over it, and it sounds crazy to say you've been doing something for 10 years and you're still learning, but when you get more control over it, you get to use it more as a weapon. Like I did a song with James Blake one time and he was like, I started my verse like a bat out of hell. And the nigga was like, I think you should start it like a little calm. And I'm like, nah, nigga, I need to tell these niggas what. And I just, nigga, I need to tell these niggas how I feel. And he was like, okay. And I looked at him, I said, James, I love you. I'm gonna do a calm. And I started calm and I climbed up with my voice and it built way more tension and it made the verse hit a little bit differently. So, I'm still learning them type of things with my voice. So to this day, it still surprises me when people say, yo, your voice is one of the best things I've ever heard, or it gives me chills. I never get used to that kind of stuff because it's just like, it's my voice.
Yeah. And I'm actually it's crazy you bring that up because there's two moments on Vacation in Hell in particular where I think you were kind of starting to figure that out. You Are My Sunshine, which really fucks me up every time I hear it. Like that to me was when I was like, oh, he's like trying something, like he's bending it a little bit. Like not too much, because like but just like you managed to keep that rasp, but it still sounds so tender. Like that's such a tender and raw song, and like I hadn't really heard you like that and the Brotherhood song on that album. Like those are like really tender and raw moments for you, and you're not exactly the most tender and raw dude on the face of the earth when it comes to music. A lot of the time, you
Facts.
more and more now, but
Mm-hmm.
like that's when I first started to notice, and I was like, oh, he's like moving it around a little bit, and like there's a little bit more of that on Gothic Luxury too. Like not too much, but like you're pushing yourself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And like for somebody who's been here since Mraz was the first song I heard.
Oh,
Better
that's a
Better
good
Off
first
Dead
song.
era. Yeah, like that's I remember the first time I saw the video and I was like, who the fuck are the Flatbush Zombies? And that was it. Y'all played my school that year. And that was like they announced y'all. Like I had heard Thug Waffle, but I really went and dug and I heard Mraz and Better Off Dead, and I was like, oh, I'm in. Like that was
Yeah.
it was a wrap after that. I never told you that. Y'all played my school. Like that was
Who was it?
Purchase. SUNY Purchase.
Oh shit.
Y'all
It's
played Culture Shock. Y'all played
Yeah,
Culture
it's
Shock.
so funny when people bring up those school shows because those like the early stages too, and I love those shows because it was such a like a people just discovering the music for the first time too. So it was
Right.
like such a different time.
I almost died in that pit, bro.
Good and a bad thing.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful, but like that was just like that was like completely uninhibited, like drunk college students. Just like it was like like I got like at Purchase, I got swallowed in that pit. Anamanaguchi, the chiptune band.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Anamanaguchi played like a year and a half later. I almost died in that pit too. Like it's just like that type of space, you know. But but anyway, I'm now I'm getting off track. But yeah, just like like that. I just kind of noticed you starting to like experiment with your voice a little bit. Like it's real subtle, but I see what you're saying, and I wanna take that opportunity to just kind of go into Gothic Luxury because, of course, like like y'all have been a unit for almost 15 years at this point,
Mhm.
and it's like why. I mean, like the pandemic happened, so I'm sure that played a big part in it. But like, why was now the time? Because I mean, like Eric had solo stuff, Juice had solo stuff. Like, why was now? Why was now the time for you to go solo? Like, why was it like now is time for the Meechy Darko solo?
Like you mentioned in the beginning, the P word, the pandemic word,
Yeah,
that made us have a lot of space. So with all that space, obviously everyone's spending time to themselves. It's a no-brainer. And I think also
right,
we are workhorses. And before that whole pandemic shit, um, we didn't really ever take a break or stop and be on the road. We've been on the road nonstop since we first started, like
right.
not Like I have to I actually want to ask my manager of the agency or someone to see if they can find out how many shows we've done, like and how constant we've done shows since we first started doing shows. So,
Right.
the idea of taking us slowing down for a second and figuring that out was very important to us because the world was kind of crazy at that moment. And we didn't want to just make an album and not know what the hell was even happening, like with life in the world at that point.
Right.
And Eric kind of wanted to get some shit off. He always does a solo project, but I feel like at this point we've been working for so long. It's good for him to actually get that chance to do that. And then also with that time being open, you should do the same thing and I should do the same thing. And it's like it's never really a problem with them because those are my brothers. So if somebody wants time to work on music, it's good that we all take this time because, like I said, we've been working nonstop, motherfucking 10 damn years. And every time Eric had to do an instrumental, he has to balance doing Flatbush Zombies and his project, and that's a lot for him. And I want to see my friend actually devote 100% of his attention to something that he wants.
Right.
Not as a friend, I think that's mad important. It's not always about feeding. People have this shit, fans, and not just fans, but people in general have this, I don't want to use this word because I don't say entitlement, but it's like they want it and they want it now. And they don't know the inner work of the people. And like, these are my brothers. So if these are people that I would just sign on the basketball team with, let's run it. This next season, let's run it. Okay, nigga, you got shit going on. It don't matter. Let's try to get this chip. When it's my brothers and shit, it's like, nigga, my man's need to drop his solo album. He been this 10 years. He been doing music before me. He deserves this. And like, and with this, we get me and Juice get to do our thing and learn. And when we go out to part ways, I get to make new links now. Now I got Dr. Genius. So now when I go back to the Zombies, I got something new to bring to the table and something bigger. And Juice gonna bring back what he got to go bring to the table. And Eric's gonna bring back, and it's gonna be, we have something more to talk about. Yeah, and growth is, you can grow with each other. Yes. And all of this to me is like, we're still this one big tree. It just so happens that a seed might have fell off. 3 seeds fell off right next to that big tree, and then new trees are growing right next to it. And that's what I'm seeing. And before you know, we're gonna have a forest. That's how I really, see it as. It's complicated for people because we don't really talk about this shit. It's complicated for people to get when you don't explain it, but what's understood don't gotta be explained realistically. So
Come on, man. Yeah, you already know. Like I love that because like you look at something like the obvious example is something like Wu-Tang, when like Wu-Tang went off and did their own thing, and like and like of course like all those solo albums are great, and like they had their history is complicated. This isn't a Wu-Tang podcast, but like they've been all over the place. They got whatever their relationships are. But you look at somebody like a less obvious comparison is like a group like the Internet, right? Like they're like a whole like group, and they put out Ego Death, which is one of my favorite albums ever. I listen to that shit like every week just about. And then they go off and split. And you see people be like, oh, like is the internet over? Like y'all are putting out solo albums, like that's always like the first place everyone's mind goes. But then you see Sid make Finn, and you see Matt Martians make his project, and Steve Lacy make his project, and oh man, the bassist Patrick, I forget his last name. You see Patrick make his project, but then they come back together and they make Hive Mind. Like, and like that's the direction that like that's because y'all are going off and doing your own thing doesn't have to mean that there's like discord or like trouble in paradise. Like y'all are just you said it. I'm not gonna say it again, but like it's just like it just works. And the fact that y'all are coming, that's just great. I don't know. I'm rambling now. But that's great. I love that.
But you get what I'm saying. And when I say entitlement, I don't make people feel like I'm,
Oh, of course not. Yeah.
But it's just people get comfortable, very, very comfortable with things being, I want it this way. I'm used to it. And it's like, yeah, but you got to take a break for a little bit. Sometimes McDonald's takes a sandwich off the menu for a year, and then when it comes back, it's better.
Right. That's a fact. That's a fact. So let's talk about Gothic Luxury for real quick. So like you decide it's time for the Meech solo album. Where did the idea of Gothic Luxury come from? Like I feel like we can kind of guess what it means, but like where did it come from?
So it wasn't the original title of the album, but it was more like the mood and the tone that I was the words that I was using to describe the tone that I wanted the album to be, like just the mood, the vibe. And when I would use, because people ask me like, how do you want the album to sound and feel? We go with feeling a lot, less of like sound sometimes, more of like the feeling. And then I would use that terminology, and every time I would use it, people would be like, oh, like I never really heard those words together. That should sound fire. And the more we would use it, and everyone around me that was working on the project would use it in the very beginning, everybody was like, you should just make the album name Gothic Luxury. Um, Originally wanted to be called Cursed, was one of the names I had. I had a few names. I don't want to give up the other names because I still might use them. But
Right.
Cursed, and then I was like, yeah, words are too powerful. I don't want my first shit to be called Cursed. I got enough. I got enough shit going on. I ain't trying to put that on myself.
Right.
So I decided to go with Gothic Luxury. And it just works. To me, the meaning of it is more of it's more of like leaning into this into I'm finding comfort in the darkness. You feel me? Like
Right.
the best example I give people when I was talking to my friend the other day, he asked me the same question, like, yo, what does it exactly mean to you? Not to interview you, but I said, if I had a bunch of kerosene in my hand right now, and I'm like, I'm gonna burn you alive and you ain't got no choice. You rather me burn you alive in a nice Tom Ford suit and you could die with a little, or you want to keep on your dusty ass one sock with a hole in it and your basketball shorts with a hole in the pocket and coal in your eye. He was like, yeah, put the Tom Ford on me and kill me. And like that's kind of what I mean. Like, shit is fucked up, but we gonna go out and if it's gonna be if it's gonna be treacherous, we gonna make it look good. And that's kind of what it really means to me. It's like, a lot of times I don't want to say it sound what I want to say sounds so arrogant. So I'm not gonna say those words, but you gotta find a way to make your pain and the shit you go through sometimes still as enjoyable as possible. And the funny thing about like even the term Gothic luxury, I explained to my friend, I was like, yo, the most luxurious shit I've experienced as far as furniture and certain stuff, a lot of that shit ain't even comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The most expensive chair I've ever sat in, it ain't a comfortable chair. You can't even sit in it. But yeah, so it's just like an entendre, I guess it's a lot of different things with the Gothic luxury terminology. I never expected it to be the title. So when people ask me that, sometimes I laugh because I'm like, this was not supposed to be the title of the album, but
Right.
it makes sense. It's where I am right now in life.
Yeah, like it's just like the tone and the theme, and like to even go off of the chair thing, like like that's fashion too. Like a lot of like people say like pain is fashion because like the
Mhm.
best looking shit is gonna it might fuck your leg up.
Yep.
Like like from skinny jeans to like tight shoes, like like you're kind of putting yourself through pain to look good.
Good.
And like that's kind of what I got from the whole Gothic luxury thing. Like like when I first saw that, and like of course like it's not it's like it's like the theme of the album, like like the theme of the album is the title of the album, and like there's not like a narrative or like a story you're trying to follow. It's just like this is the type of thing I'm trying to reach with these songs,
Hmm.
which is it's like a nice little like expectation primer for people to just be like expect this. Like I like it when a good project comes together and just like like once again, like you're not trying to tell a story. I mean, you're telling stories like in the different songs. Like obviously, like of course you lost your dad very recently. Once again, rest in peace. I'm sorry about that. And just like there's so many little bits of you in here, and
Hmm.
like you're still rapping the way you always have, and but like you don't have Eric and Juice to bounce off of here. It's like you kind of doing this by yourself and you really digging into what makes Meech Meech. And, like, especially considering all the stuff that you've gone through over the course of the past couple of years and not having your brothers there on record to bounce off of, like, was that I don't want to ask if it was challenging for you because clearly it wasn't, but like, I guess this feels like such an obvious question, but like, was there a big difference between making this project, especially considering how varied it is, like between like making this project by yourself versus making it with them? Like, yeah.
Yeah. There's so much very like so much different varying things that like I noticed when making this project alone versus making it with Eric and Juice. Obviously, these are the only people I've made music with my whole life. So just the process of like bouncing ideas off of each other. And a lot of times, me, Eric, and Juice don't have to say much with certain songs. Sometimes, like, there'll be an idea already laid down, or it'll be like, what are we trying to talk about every now and then? But usually, we figured out this system where I could just tell with Eric's vibe, like, he's on something right now. Let him get as far as he can and let him present that to me. And then that might be the thing that sets the tone for the song. I'm still going to do my thing over here, but we kind of found like this nice balance of everyone gets to kind of try to set the tone for the shit, unless Eric throws a beat on, and then instantly, like I think Headstone, I figured it out once he played the beat. I was like, I had it in my head, like I just knew, boom.
Right.
I knew kind of like I knew I wanted to use the word headstone. I knew I wanted to say money over bitches. Then I was like, yo, we should do this thing with these rappers and take these words. So those processes is different now because it's just me. So sometimes the headstone thing is a fun activity to do with other people. Yo, let's name. You say this. I want to see what you come up with. When you're alone, it's not as fun to do those what I call lyrical exercises. I used to do a lot of that when I first started rapping. Like I'm gonna use every single magazine to make a verse. I'm gonna use every single name of the fucking products that's in my stove. I'm in my pantry to make a verse. Those I don't think about as much when I'm alone. It's more of introspective and tapping into my brain and tapping into my soul because I don't really get this opportunity like that. So that's why I didn't want to make. I think that's why I have so much of, like you said, little bits of me in there, and not so much of just bar, punchline, shocking bar, and some of my life because I don't have anyone to the right or left to be like, see how they're feeling or what energy he has. Because if Juice comes in with a crazy ass bounce, rhythmic, fucking melodic energy, and I feel like it's mad fire, I literally close up shop on whatever I was writing and I put it to the side and I go and hop on the energy that Juice has because it is the most infectious. I follow the musical spirit. It's some shit I call the musical spirit. I don't be overthinking it, bro. I listen to the beat. I just feel and I just go for it. When you're with other people, when you're with other people, even if they're your bros, there's still something in your head that's like a let me see what's going on with Juice right now. I gotta tap in with him and see like, oh, you fucking with this vibe? You fucking with it, Eric? All right, so this is what we're gonna do. And when you're alone, you don't ask yourself, are you fucking with it? You kind of just, for me at least, and I didn't really question myself. Not that I questioned myself with Eric and Juice, but I didn't question myself as much as I thought I was going to during this whole process. I want to say also, even though I was recording and writing these songs alone, I wasn't alone because I had like a good team of people.
Of
Like
course, yeah.
and Parker and everyone that's been around me, from my man Django and Tyler Dops and all those people, my man's Demi, all those people helped me in the beginning of it. So it wasn't like, it wasn't like I met Dot and then me and him were just in a room, a cold room with a computer, and we're just there, like, they made it easy for me to be myself and build the environment for me. The one thing I will say, I write long ass verses. So now that I'm alone, I realized, oh shit, my verses be really, really long because I have two verses on the song and both of them verses be 30 some bars. So I learned, I learned, I learned a lot about my habits. That's what I learned a lot about. Seen a lot about my habits.
Right. I can see that because like you even look at a song like you look at a song like Lavish funny enough you mentioned habits, you like Lavish Habits is the one that I keep coming back to. Just like because you could even call a song like Lavish Habits, like that's almost like a lyrical exercise to an extent. Like, like a lot of that is like so it's like stuff like that and Hennessy and Halos kind of got me in that way and Proud of You and the MoMA is another one that really kind of stuck with me after I heard the album the first couple of times. Like just like this idea of like you and your mom and just like, like my mom would want to put me in the MoMA. Like I just like these are, like these are avenues that we don't really see you explore super often. And just to kind of see you kind of pull it together, especially with someone like Dot, and it's like all these different people that you have around you to like help make this project, like like you're working with Gibbs and Busta Rhymes, like you're working with like Jay Versace and like Dr. Genius and A-Track and Black Thought, and like this just like this is it's just kind of like a time for you to it's just kind of a time for you to be like, hey, like I'm here, this is what I can do by myself. And it's just I remember when I talked to you for Vacation in Hell and you told me that you wanted to do something like this because I think I might have asked you. I can't because no because I asked you because Instrumentals 2 was about to come out and I asked you about a solo project and you were like, "Oh yeah, like I'm gonna do one like this and this." You had like a bunch of ideas you threw at me. And I was like, "You're ready whenever you're ready." You know? And then to just to like you sounded so excited about it. Like and now you're here and you
Hmm.
did it, you know, like 5 years later you did it. And just to see it come out the way it did is just like tight. Like you did it, and like you said, you learned things about yourself. You like I like the fact that you said that you picked up on your habits, because it's just like this is a conversation with you. Like you're having a conversation with yourself right now. And I mean, like obviously there's other people around, but it's like musically you're mostly talking to yourself, and you figured out, you know, like you've kind of figured out a little bit more of what makes you tick in that way. And that's just dope to hear that, you know, like it means that you learned something, and that it wasn't just like oh, I'm gonna put out a project just because like people asked for it. Like I did it because it's gonna further me into something else. Not that it has to, but like it's
No,
cool that
it,
it did,
it
you know.
already it already has for me. Even if it doesn't, even if I sold one copy, I got. I don't think a lot of people I know could have got anything done with what I went through in the last, whatever. So, the fact that I can
Yeah.
even get that done, it's a victory in itself. Anytime you can create anything, it's a victory. That's how I feel. Anytime I create, I go in Photoshop and mock up shirts that might never ever come out. But every time I do one, it's fun. I got something done, and I feel like it's a little victory. So this is like a big victory
Right.
for a lot of people that's been supporting me for all these years. I feel like when a lot of people got to listen to it, it feels they're like finally. A lot of people like finally. What's taking you
Yeah.
so long, but they got to understand that everything happens the way it happens for a reason. Can't force it. I'm glad I didn't come out with whatever I was supposed to come out with before, because I probably wouldn't have been as focused.
Right. And yeah, like this is focused. Like this album feels focused to me. I
Mhm.
definitely see that. Um, and two more things before I ask you my last question, because this has been on my mind since I heard Lavish Habits. So the subtitle's Gothica.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to talk about Gothica. Have you ever seen the movie Gothica?
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
It's a, it's, it's a good
Yeah.
bad movie. It's a good bad
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, definitely. Like definitely one of the lesser known Halle Berry joints. Like that, like I remember when the trailer came out, and there's like a bit in the trailer where like the girl who's possessed is like staggering walking through a door. That shit
Mm-hmm.
freaked me out when I was a kid. Like that trailer really left a
I
psychic
think the
imprint on
promo.
me.
I think the promo of that movie is why people think the movie's so bad. They killed it with the promotion and the commercials and everything. I think because
Yeah.
everybody real excited, and then when you seen the movie, it kind of was like. Then they had that video. There was a song, Fred Durst. Remember, Fred Durst had a video
Oh yeah.
on the soundtrack with Halle Berry in the video, and they kissed, and it was all this big hype, and everybody got all excited. But I always loved the artwork of that, and just the theme of that movie was always like it could have been so much better. That's another one. Maybe somebody should take that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm
always,
with
and
you
I
on
love
that.
that word. The word Gothic it just sounds good.
Right. It does. Also,
No real deep meaning
um,
behind it for me personally. It just sounds good. And it's like, here's another movie reference throwing there for you.
that's cool. I'm cool with that. Also, Robert Downey Jr. was in that movie, and that was one of his like last roles before Iron Man happened. Like that was like maybe I want to say Gothica was like mid 2000s. It was like not right before, but it was like a few years before Iron Man happened and rejiggered his whole shit. That was like he had like just come off the drugs and was like coming back to movies, you know? Like
Damn. So
yeah.
did that help him or did that make it worse for him? You think after he did that movie, they were like, yeah, I'm looking at his filmography right now.
I have no idea, but
Does
I
he?
remember.
His filmography? Wait a minute. Robert Downey Jr. has music? Oh God, no.
Yeah, no, I think yeah, I think he made some. I don't know. I haven't heard any of his music, but I've heard the fact that he has music, but not like any of the shit itself. Mm. He's done it all, bro. He's done it all. Um,
I'm very curious now to see what he did after Gothica. Hold on. Take
Cause what year was Gothica? Tell me. It was like what, like 04, 05?
2003.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, see, he did do one good movie. He did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Right. So that was that before or after Iron Man? Because Iron Man was 08.
Nah, he snuck a few in because he's in Zodiac.
Right. Oh, right. Zodiac was before Iron Man too.
Yeah,
Shit. Okay.
he snuck Zodiac in, A Scanner Darkly, that's just a movie I like.
That movie's incredible. That's one of my favorite movies ever. I just watched that like 3 months ago. That's like a
Love that
damn.
fucking movie. And then
Scanner Darkly is great.
he snuck in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang too.
The
There's a,
future feel sorry to cut you off. The future feels like a Scanner fucking Darkly. Like we were talking about Idiocracy. Like it
Mhm.
feels like we're living a Scanner Darkly right now,
I could
honestly.
definitely see
Like
that movie. I gotta watch that again. The guy who made that, it's funny. I got into that movie because of this other movie, Waking Life.
yeah,
Uh,
because it was the same second he made the movie.
uh-huh.
Yeah. Right.
That's how I found out about this one. Me and Juice and Issa from Underachievers, we used to fucking watch Waking Life all the time and talk about fucking dreams and read dream books and try
Mm-hmm.
to tap into gain lucidity and go into some nigga. We were trying to meet each other in our dreams and do crazy shit. So. We was getting some progress and I started to gain lucidity. I started to shit was getting real, but it's hard. You got real life.
Right. Yeah, bro. That movie was like a I watched it again. It's not as good as I remember it, but A Scanner Darkly, to me, A Scanner Darkly really holds up. And just like I just think like the technique is better and just like the performance cause like Waking Life was like an anthology thing, right? It wasn't like all connected
No,
in
no,
that
yeah,
way.
a bunch of stories, random like short stories or some shit like that.
Which is cool, like I'm not opposed to that. I just like I
It don't
watched it again.
it don't hit like Scanner Darkly.
Yeah, it just doesn't, bro. Like, but I love the tech. I love the it's called rotoscoping, what they do, because like
Mhm.
they shoot the whole thing in live action and then they draw over every single frame. It takes forever to do.
That is
Like, yeah, it takes forever to do,
the
but like
dude
it
who did that
looks
movie. The dude who did that movie did Boyhood.
he did do Boyhood, yeah.
You know what's so crazy? It's like niggas took 12 years to make a movie and I didn't watch it. That's crazy. That part, shit like that hurts me. It's like I gotta watch that movie now.
Yeah, I saw it when it came out in theaters, and you know what's worse than you not seeing it?
You know.
Me thinking it's just okay.
Oh, damn. Really?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Damn, son, that sucks. Because the niggas
I
dedicated
know.
12 years of their life to some shit. That's what I mean. I'm like, all right. Then it's like when you give too much, it's like the blank check thing. When you give too much creative freedom, also, I think things like that happen where it's like, this idea sounds dope, but it sounded dope 12 years ago. And I'm pretty sure 4 years in, they were like, yo, we can't do this. Like, they probably want to stop that movie so much time. Before we get off of this, I want to talk about one last thing. Are you
Please.
familiar with what's going on with the Batgirl movie?
Oh, of course. Nah, yeah, I'm happy you brought this up. Yeah, what about it?
I want to go to that screening of that movie. They're gonna say
Oh,
the funeral
you,
screening. I need to sneak in there. I gotta get in. I gotta see.
I need
See,
tickets, bro. I need it.
you don't understand the idea of people spending millions on some shit and they just burn it. It just busts my head.
Bro, they literally said we are locking this shit in a vault, nigga. Like you need to like be on the lot to see the movie, or you're never seeing the. That's so
But
crazy.
some shit I read said they might have to literally destroy it if they want to get their tax write off or whatever with the yeah, because if they hold it on the vault, then I think the IRS could say, hey, you guys can release that in 20 years and so they might have to destroy the whole movie. Like it might be gone. And it's crazy because Brendan Fraser's in the movie, right?
Yeah,
Brendan Fraser, they said this new movie he did, the Whale movie, they're saying
that
they
looks.
got a standing ovation and like they're saying it's supposed to be like he's gonna probably win an Oscar for this movie.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I was just reading Vanity Fair did this whole like piece on the movie and like his process in making it and like kind of coming back to Hollywood. He never like left, but like this is his like I'm back and like I'm gonna make a movie and win an Oscar and like chill and like he's been through a lot. So I'm happy to like see him and like the whale, like I read it. What happened?
the story is fucked up. Like just like about his shit with his wife
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then just being like, I don't know, I love a redemption story. I really do. Like
Same.
A Hollywood redemption story is the best because it's like a fuck you, like it's a real fuck you, like especially since he didn't have to do no body transformation to become in shape or do no nut. He came back literally like himself. He's a nice guy. You can literally tell he's one of the few nice guys that's been in Hollywood. You can see it in his smile.
Yeah,
Even he looks like a nice dude. So it's really I love these kind of movies and when things like this happen where it's like, all right, intent. I love intent and his intent.
yeah,
You tell that he's really making. He's trying to not pander to nobody and literally just make the best stuff while he's alive. Like that's
right.
these are artists. Like I guarantee when I see that movie, I'm gonna leave and be like, I gotta write a fire song. Like those are the things that be like making me excited. This nigga can dedicate his mind, body, and soul to doing this movie. The least I could do is write a fire verse. Jesus Christ.
Right. Oh man, that's so real. I was reading the piece and they mentioned that like he's in a prosthetic suit or like it's like a they tried to be like real because like obviously like fat suits are starting to people are starting to realize that that shit's kind of fucked up. Like, you know, like the whole like Eddie Murphy, Nutty Professor shit. Like it's you know, we're not in the 2000s anymore and people are waking up. But like he's in a prosthetic suit in the movie and they're not showing any of it in the promos. Like there's only that there's like one picture of like a real close up of his face, and they and like A24 who's putting it out wouldn't show any other pictures because they don't want that to be like the Brendan Fraser in a fat suit. They don't want that to be the hook of the movie, even though like it's obviously like he's playing a man who's 600 pounds, he's about to die, like he's had like heart surgery, like he's like literally eating himself to death out of guilt. I like read the story is really fucked up. I read about it. It's like it's extremely depressing. Like his like he left he's like he's like a writing teacher who left his wife and daughter for a man, and like he was with the man for 15 years. He was a student of his. He left his wife for a student of his. The student dies for whatever reason, and he feels so guilty about the whole thing that he starts eating a bunch and he gains a shitload of weight. And the
Sick.
whole movie, yeah, like the whole movie is him just like dealing with this, and like he has like a live-in nurse who's like, bro, like you need to go to the hospital. You're going to die. You are eating yourself to death. And that's the whole. So like Brendan Fraser coming back and choosing this to be the movie he wants to do, and like they're trying to be really respectful about it, and like I'm happy for him, man. Like this is like a real. It's gonna be like a genuine. However I feel about the movie, the lead up to it is probably good. I don't want to say it's gonna affect the way that I take it in, but it's like you could tell that they want this to be special. You know?
Yeah, I love that. Like
Like,
that's the magic. I can see him winning this award already. I see it in my head. Like I literally see
right.
it. He's such a nice guy. He deserves that shit. Not like I even know him, but you rarely see certain people in Hollywood or just in general in the music industry or whatever where it's like this nigga just looks like a nice guy, bro. And he also gave me a lot of like great movies like fucking Georgia the Jungle and
Oh,
Encino
come
Man
on.
and
Like,
Mummy and shit. Like the nigga
yeah,
deserves that. And not for nothing. I remember I read some shit that he like injured himself like permanently from like doing shit on the set of the Mummy and shit like that. So, and
yeah.
those movies were fucking great. I watched one the other day and was like, outside of the bad graphics, they don't make these movies anymore. Like they
They really don't.
can't do these epics, like epics. That's what when you
Yeah.
told me the Harry Potter movie stuff. I'm like, damn, it's over for epic movies. Like they just don't exist.
It's like there's some that are still like that's what everything everywhere all at once is. It's just like on a it's just like to a different level. But like seeing a movie like that really nail everything it's trying to do, like I'm real interested to hear what you have to think about it when you see it, because like it really like it gets at that it's like 17 different kinds of movies rolled into one. There's like action in it, there's drama in it, there's romance in it. It's like a family drama. There's like early 2000s like Hong Kong cinema
Oh,
type
yeah.
shit in there, like I don't know how familiar you are with that shit, but just like there's like a whole style that Wong Kar-wai I think is the director's name. Like he has a whole he like his movies are like really blurry, or like parts of it are like really blurry, and they like incorporate that in there. Like that's like an epic movie to me, in like that like it's like an action adventure, a comedy, a drama, a family movie, like all like I'm not gonna gas it up too much, but go see that, because like it's kind of it's that, you know. Like
Yeah, I'm gonna.
um
It's not on streaming yet, right?
uh you might be able to buy it. It's not on like you can like cop it off like Apple TV Plus or whatever. It's worth the purchase, I think. I saw it twice.
Showing it today still.
Go catch it, bro. That's
Oh,
a that's a movie you got to see in a theater. Like,
yeah,
see that in the theater.
I think I might do that actually.
Honestly. Oh, okay. So if you do, you got to hit me and tell me what you think of it. Like, I'm gonna be waiting on it.
Nah, nah, today, yeah, I'm gonna see where is this place? Music hall. Let me make sure there's not no live performance of the whole fucking.
Well, while you look for that, I got one more question for you. Um, Brother Meech, if your life was a movie, what would it be about?
My life would be like the movie Last Action Hero with a little kid met Arnold Schwarzenegger, and
Yeah.
he's in that world that's like a bunch of movies and like that's what my life would be. It would be like a child fucking fantasy where I'm just walk. It would be Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but instead every movie licensed character possible, and I get to meet and do whatever. I get to buy Coke from Scarface, and then go fucking play basketball, Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan while I'm off that cocaine. And then
Right.
I'm gonna leave there in a tunnel with Bugs Bunny to hop out into Egypt where I see Brendan Fraser and the mummy niggas and what's the nigga named Imhotep or whatever his fucking name
Yeah.
is. That's my world.
And the Scorpion King. You got to bring in the Scorpion King.
You can rocking the Scorpion King with his bad graphics. Then I can make
Right.
Rock from Fast and the Furious meet the Scorpion King Rock. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do all that. Like honestly, like a Ready Player One type situation. That would be probably my dream.
Right. Or like you play multiverses? The fucking
Yeah,
WB fight. Yeah, you want multiverses. Okay.
essentially, yeah. It's that kind of be what it is. I actually had an idea for a movie that I would not say because someone's gonna steal it, but it's like a Ready Player One type. You can kind of get my idea now based off what the fuck I said before. But
Right.
yeah, fucking niggas gonna watch this shit come out in 4 years. Watch.
We'll know where we heard it first is what is not all that matters, but like we'll know where to trace it back to.
I ended with this. I ended with this. I want to make something like Be Kind and Rewind, which is like a homage to films, which is why I named all of those films and characters and shit. I want to make a
Right.
movie. I really want to make this movie in life, and that's what the movie that would be describing the most is like just a homage to movies,
Right.
and their universes and what it means to people.
Be Kind Rewind is such a good movie too. We don't
It's
talk about that one enough.
such a heart. I love that shit.
It's so pure, like, oh, like you could just tell they care,
Mm-hmm.
like it's just so fucking pure.
And it's a movie about movies.
And it's a movie about movies, and those are never, or, well, not that they're never bad. There's some that are bad, but like most of the time they're good. Most of the time they're cool. Meech, man, like I don't even know. Like, thank you, bro. Like this was Jesus Christ. Like what a conversation. Like we just went over everything, and yeah, just like as a fan, like like I've been a fan since fucking Better Off Dead, basically. So like to see you, as a part of the zombies and by yourself now, like really making moves. Like I'm just, like I like, especially over the last 5 years, I like watched you come up after having like met and interacted with you, and it's like just congratulations and just like thank you for this was great. Thank you. Like I don't take it for granted. Like you came to me, like you coming to my small ass platform is super duper appreciated. So thank you.
No, no problem, bro. This is fun. I do it. Hit me up, bro. I do these every now and then. I'll watch, I'll make a little list for you, some random movies and we could just talk about shit. And, I'm a movie guy. Anything with movies, that's my goal is to when I retire, just have a theater one day and then have a theater in the crib and just invite people over and watch movies and
Hell
smoke
yeah, bro.
cigars and shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You get me your list, I'm gonna get you mine. I got like 20 off the top of my head already.
All right, give me one more before we leave. I'll give you one. Cecil B. Demented.
Oh wow. Brain Dead.
One of my favorite movies ever made. What the fuck is you talking about,
Come
man?
on, son. I'm
Yeah.
so I'm so pressed. I lost my fucking DVD copy of it. I had it because in America they called it Dead Alive, and I lost my DVD of it. But
What a fucking good the rat biting the gram. What a good movie. What a
fucking
good bad.
stomp the rat's head. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Oh, what a good bad. What a good zombies fucking. Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
God, so good.
Yeah. And that was like Peter Jackson's first movie he ever made. Like
Mm-hmm.
that man made Lord of the Rings. He made that and then made Lord of the Rings. Like
That's why I love horror, and that's why I say you can really discover so much from that genre because horror can be funny. Horror movies can have comedy, it can have suspense, it can have everything in it. So
Right.
shout out to Brain Dead. People go watch that. Go watch that and Cecil B. Demented, please.
Yeah, that's on YouTube. Both I think both of them are on YouTube. Go look up Cecil B. Demented and Brain Dead, Dead Alive. It's one of them. I just watched it online like a month ago, so it's there. It's there.
Love that shit.
Thanks for listening. Shout out to y'all for making it this far. And shout out to all the black people listening too, because y'all really impeccable. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell a friend to come through next time. 1.